I'm going to show you how to properly clean your snake's cage. Before you start, you are going to need something to put your snake in and make sure that there's holes in the lid so that they can breathe through it. If not, your snake could possibly suffocate. You're going to need white vinegar. You're going to need washcloths. Likely two. You're going to need some sort of bedding. And then you are going to need a trash can. So to start off, step one, you're going to want to remove your snake from its cage, remove the lid, and remove the snake from the cage. You're going to want to take it and put it into the container and make sure the container is completely closed. So put the snake in the container, take the lid, and put it on it, and set aside. We will come back to that at the end. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the hides out. We're going to wash these in a little bit and take the water bowl out and any other decorations. I just have quite a few rocks in here. You're just going to want to take all those out. And then you're going to want to then remove the heating pad and make sure it is unplugged before you touch it because they can get really hot. That's a warning. And you're going to take that and set that to the side along with the snake. And then after that, you're going to want to take all the bedding and you're going to want to put it all in the trash can. Warning, do not reuse your snake's bedding because it can make it sick and it could possibly cause problems. And there's going to be a little bit of dirt left on it, but we will clean that off. Then you are going to want to take it to the sink if you have one and rinse it out as best as possible because you don't want all this gunk left in there when we go to wash it. So I will do that real fast. Now I got all of that done, and you're going to want to make sure you have paper towels as well. And I'm going to take the paper towels. I'm going to wipe the inside of this dry because the next part involves washing, and you don't want it wet for that. So next, what you are going to do is you're going to take your white vinegar. And you are going to take one of your washcloths and you're going to add some white vinegar to the washcloth. And you are going to rub down every surface possible that your snake would ever touch in this container. You're going to wipe it all down. And warning, do not use any soap or anything because it can give your snake chemical infections and chemical poisoning. And we do not want that. So you wipe it all out. It's warning, it does smell really bad. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the other washcloth. You're going to put water on it. And you're going to rub it down all over where you just put the white vinegar. Rub all that down. Once you're done with that, you're going to take the paper towels and you're going to dry it off again. Make sure to get it super dry, just to make sure that there's no extra white vinegar left on it. And then we are going to set this aside. And we are going to move on to doing our hides and our additives to the cage, any decor, anything like that you have. You want to rinse completely off with water like we did the cage, wipe it down with white vinegar again, and then you're going to want to wipe it clean as well with the washcloth. You're going to dry those off again with paper towels. making sure to get them as dry as possible. And then you're gonna dry off all of your decor, anything that you put in your cage. You're going to repeat the process with the white vinegar afterwards. And these, since they're small and they can fit into a sink or something, if you have a sink nearby, you can put them in there and rinse them off in there. So I'm going to take the white vinegar again, put it on the washcloth. I'm going to rub down everywhere on the hides, rub down everywhere on the bowls, rub down everywhere on the rocks. And you're gonna wanna rub it on any other decor that you are putting back in your cage that has been in the cage, any decor that is going brand new into the cage, or anything that your snake will be touching on a daily basis. I'm going to rinse these off again. And I am going to let those air dry until we need to put them in the cage. You're going to want to grab your container again, and you are going to want to grab your bedding. And for bedding, the thickness depends on what snake you have. If you have a corn snake, you're gonna wanna do 3 to 4 inches. If you have a ball python like I do, you're only gonna need to do 1 inch. And most other snakes, you would need to do roughly 3 to 4. And you want to make sure your bedding is not too moist, or with the heating pad, the humidity will grow to way too high and could possibly cause scale rot on your snake, or can cause respiratory infections. So make sure your bedding is not too moist and that it has drier areas in it. And of course, with having the heating pad in there, it will make sure that it will dry out in a short amount of time. So now that I got the bedding in there, you are going to want to dry off the decor that you are going to put in your cage, and make sure that you dry it completely, and then you can put it back in wherever you deem appropriate for your snake. You always want to make sure you have a hide on the warm side and a hide on the cool side. Sadly, I do not have a hide for the cool side right now. And any decor that is a little bit rough, you want to make sure is not too rough for your snake. Otherwise, it can rip your snake's scales off, and that is not good. You are going to want to dry off the water bowl and fill it with room temperature water. Don't make sure it's not too cold or too hot so you don't burn your snake or freeze your snake. Just enough for your snake to fit. You don't want it to be able to drown, and you don't want it to not have enough water. And then after all that is done, you are going to take your heat pad, and while it is unplugged, you are going to want to lift up the hot side of your cage, and make sure your water is on your cool side. I want to lift that up, and you can plug it in afterwards. And then you can take your snake out of its box. She's really excited to get out. And then you can add it back into the cage. And then make sure you put the lid on and make sure that it is firmly attached so that it is not able to get out. And that is how you clean your cage for your snake.